everyone. This is Haley from the Happy Flapp. You will be seeing my face for a while, but, today I'm going to talk about ABA therapy, unscripted. So, I'm going to clarify this right now. I'm going to talk about this in the context of the US, since that's where I'm from. And you may not like what you're gonna hear, but it's the truth, and I've done a little bit of research. I would think I've done at least a little bit of research since it's been about a year since I've been doing autistic advocacy. So please bear in mind. And also, I'm gonna probably put a general TW down on this video. Just because I don't quite know what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Okay, with that, let's get started. So, people always sit there and go, I'm an ABA therapist, and I've never heard the horror stories of, like, let me give you an example of this real quick. I'm not going to say their name, I am going to say they have a blog that I found, and this girl was 6 years old at the time, and her ABA therapist, she was, flapping, which is a form of stimming that is our equivalent to holistic, i.e., not autistic facial expression. She was doing this because she was happy about something, and her ABA therapist actually took her hands by the wrist, and they put tacky glue on her hands and pinned her hands down to the table as she screamed to let her go. And this may sound extreme, but this is actually a commonplace case. I've heard the stories of they still allow shock therapies. I'm not going to get into MMS and immersives right now. I personally had to go into social isolation rooms. For some reason, this is still seen as legal by autistic people. And before you complain that you're an ABA therapist and none of this would be allowed, in the US, the only thing that is insured is ABA therapy. So you have therapies that are not ABA going to label themselves as ABA just to get the insurance, okay? If it does not involve the state-condoned abuse of children, it's not ABA. Let's just put it that way, okay? And the guy who founded ABA, his name is Ivar Lovaas. And Ivar Lovaas worked on the Feminine Boys Project as well. If you don't know what that is, that was a project in, I believe, the 1970s, that its whole purpose was actually to get rid of homosexuality. And so, the guy who founded ABA was also the guy who eventually founded gay conversion camps, okay? I mean, goddamn, it's no wonder that autistic people will sometimes morbidly joke about ABA therapy being called autistic conversion camps. When you think about it, he actually founded ABA therapy on the same structural basis as the FBP. I've explained this so many times to other people, I really don't know how else to explain it, but like, I actually had it better. I was the one being dragged into social isolation rooms by police officers and an ABA-based behavior school. That's not fun, so to say I had it better is not an exaggeration. And if you talk to other autistic people, they can probably give you much worse accounts of things that have happened, and yet we're blown away as being irrational. But there's a study that I also found. It actually came out very recently. It's somewhere on ResearchGate, I believe, is the website. And it actually talked about how autistic people are more prone to are 1.86 times more likely to meet the threshold for PTSD. An 18-month-old autistic person will meet the threshold for PTSD symptoms in 6 weeks of exposure to ABA. A 5-year-old will meet those requirements before they're 7. I don't like thinking about these things, but until ABA therapy is eliminated and made illegal in the US and throughout the world, I can't stop talking about it, okay? Excuse me, but if I had it better and I was dragged into a social isolation room for talking about cats too much, or for reading a book under my desk because I learned turtles were cold-blooded at 3 years old, and you're lecturing me about this when I'm 10 in that behavior school, and I'm the one who had it better, hell yeah, it should be illegal, okay? I don't know how to describe the horrors that go on in ABA therapy because I had it better. Do you want to talk about MMS? No. I'm sure you don't once you hear what it actually is. That's not what this discussion is about. That's going to be a discussion for another day. But I'm going to tell you that all of this is actually seen as okay to make a autistic child conform to holistic and neurotypical standards. We don't need fixing, we need acceptance. Okay? ABA therapy is meant to make us pass as neurotypical, which can have huge psychological impacts later in life. Do you know how hard it was when I went to college? Because suddenly everyone was okay with how I acted. They didn't care if I, bit my lip a little bit, or if I twirled my hair or flapped my hands. Everyone was okay with it. No one stared at me, so don't give me the excuse that I'm gonna look weird. And if I look weird, who cares? There's a lot of neurotypical people who look weird. They dress weird. They wear their hair weird. They talk about weird things. So why are we put up to the double standard that we can act like ourselves, but other people can't? I'm not talking about the self-harming stims, like banging your head against a wall or things like that. I'm talking about something as nice as a flap, or a tap of the foot, or jewelry, for God's sake. It looks weird, but so do a lot of other things that autistic people don't do. And people are gonna stare at you and disagree with you, and you're gonna run into jackasses in life, no matter what. So why should we have to wear a mask 24/7 in the society when what we really need is friends who support us? ABA therapy is full of shit, because would you make an autistic child act like an autistic person if the majority of the world was autistic? Let's just do role reversal here real quick. How would you like if the majority of the world was autistic and you were forced to hide neurotypicality because if you sang a Nicki Minaj song, people would be all over your ass for it? But as soon as you got to college, no one cared if you liked Nicki Minaj, even though the most popular song would have been Wolf in Sheep's Clothing by Set It Off. You'd probably think that's full of shit too, wouldn't you? I don't know what else to say here, so I'm gonna stop. But I'm going to put some links in the description. One of them will be that research paper. I'm probably just gonna put the PDF down there. It's kind of hard to navigate through that site. I'm surprised I found it. I'm also gonna put a few books and web articles that anyone who wants to be an ally to autistic people to stop this from happening can look at to get some primers and what they should look for as far as what red flags are and stuff. I'll see you later, okay?